Morning, folks. Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training, and Jezzie with the puppies. We're on day 8 now. It's day 5, I do believe, or 6 of the ENS, early neurological stimulation. Excuse me for being all bundled up, but I am cold and windy out there today. It's just a really windy day. But tearing things up. And I've got to redo blankets and all that too, so I gotta do that, fix it later on. But right now I'm just grabbing puppies. Gonna grab puppies for our early ENS. And Mama knows it too. She says, I know what's going on. Yes, I do. Alright, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Good. Alright, so I am noticing a lot more struggle, a lot more fight when I'm doing this, and I see a lot more fight and struggle between them on the tip on day 8, and it's all interesting to me in that regard. So let's use a little pink glove. 2, 3, 4, 5, and the back on the front. 2, 3, 4, 5. On the cloth. Alright, so I wanted to have a little yak session while I'm doing this today because it gets boring doing this every day with just that, right? So what we got is I've been getting phone calls and getting people interested in the puppies, but I right away figure out that they're out for one thing, and that's for breeding stock. And you have to ask yourself, why do you do puppies? A lot of people want to make money. There's no money in breeding puppies, guys. You spend a lot more money in food and in labor and all the things that you got to do to deal with the calamities of breeding. You could have all kinds of problems, veterinary bills, everything else, shots, more food, 10 puppies. That's food these guys are going to eat like a horse, right? So I always realize that I never make a dime on this. In fact, I lose my ass. I do it because I love it, and I want to be able to produce puppies, to be able to produce a product, to be able to build something, and using genetics and God gave you in that regards. But I don't do it for any other reason than to produce a product that I produce, that I have created through breeding, through genetics, and what I build. That's why I do what I do, okay? Because I love and care about what I do as a profession, and what I do produce product, because a lot of these dogs will probably end up on the street as police dogs. She's getting, the yakking is what she's doing, so she hears me yakking. She's getting tired of that yakking. She's saying, shut up and pet me. You stay out. And she's getting more comfortable with this every day. So I've been having phone calls. I had one person get a hold of me yesterday, and I right away realized he's probably just after breeding stock. They want my females. They want to be able to breed because of the quality and the bloodlines that I have. And I don't do what I do to be able to produce other people's bloodlines and to be able to create the product that I do, and having the knowledge that I do and producing the product that I do, for them to go out and breed my product and to water down my product, right? Bottom line is that most Americans, and this I say it all the time, screw up everything they get their hands on. When it comes to breeding and when it comes to producing a product with livestock and stuff like that, Americans are the worst, right? They don't know what they're doing, and they have too much of an American attitude in wanting to love and care on the animal, which I do too, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, they don't have any feeling, they don't have any gut feeling for what they're doing. Over in Europe, they've been breeding for like 200 years, and they've got a good feeling and understanding of their bloodlines. That's what that KNPV database is all about, with the database that tells them where their bloodlines are at and who's been bred to what. You got to remember that Holland, Denmark, where that database is at, that's been created for our VRN numbers, that's a very small country. So their pool of bloodlines and everything is pretty, small in the larger concept of things, right? So that being the case, back up to the buttons. So I have to figure out a polite way of saying this. I'm doing it now by yakking at the screen about the subject, that I don't want my dogs to go out as breeding stock. So how can you deal with that? Well, you can put a clause in the contract that states that they don't have breeding rights on the female. But as far as I'm concerned, being around the dog world as long as I have, I know that's not what the paper is written on. Reason being is that who's going to go out of their way? I'll give you a good example. I paid $2,500 for a stud fee for a semen, and the breeding didn't take. And the breeder said, I want to honor that, and you just ship me the bitch, and I'll give you another breeding, and we'll see if we can get it to catch. Well, that means I've got to spend the money shipping the bitch back there, shipping the bitch back, and all that money that comes out of my pocket to be able to get a breeding that I didn't get because it didn't take with AI, right? So I lost $2,500. Now I could go sue him, and I could go after it legally if I don't get a breeding, but reality and truth, who's going to do that? Am I going to chase $2,500 and cost me more money in lawyers, my time, my effort, my money? Nobody's going to do that. These agreements that are on paper, for 90% of the time, it sounds good, and you have an obligation that's been written out in a contract on paper, but at the same time, it's not really worth the paper it's written on, because who's going to go out of their way to do that? Unless I was Donald Trump and I could afford tying you up in court and doing all the things I need to do with legal and all that, sure. The reality and truth is that most people that, in common sense, we just let it go. We just walk away. So that's not going to work. So my other option is to do what I've done already. I've done it with Darrow and I've done it with her. Don't have a BRN number on the bitch, and now they want a BRN number because they want to breed. That's all they care about, right? So right away, she doesn't have a BRN number. That stops that whole thing from happening. I don't care about BRN numbers. I care about what I buy, what I produce, what I breed. But as far as what I put out, I'm not putting out animals for you to breed because you're going to screw it up, right? We put a lot of work and a lot of energy into having quality bloodlines, and I don't want my bloodlines out in there getting bred by every Tom, Dick, and Harry getting watered down and getting screwed up because they don't know what they're doing. Right? Do I know what I'm doing? I'm learning and growing as I go. I'm not the world's best expert, but I guarantee you I have a little bit more knowledge than most. And I got very lucky when I fell on Arrow. Arrow was a hell of a dog. Hell of a bloodline to start my whole breeding stock. And this gets me back to my bloodlines. This locks it back in with Jezzie, whose mother is Daisy. That pulls me right back into my bloodlines again. And that's what I care about. And then after this breeding, we're going to go line breeding, and we'll go back to Buddy, who is Daisy's brother, right? There's enough separation in the breeding that we now can go back. So I'm going to go back to Buddy and see how that goes, and try to lock in the genetic predispositions of my bloodlines, right? So there's a method of madness for what I'm doing. You know the quality, everybody and their brother raves about what I've got. Daisy's been getting the heck right out of her. Some good studs. I may go back to something in that regard at some point, but that's a boy. That's a boy. He's a good looking boy too. I have to keep an eye on him. I gotta get my collars set up. Get the colored collars on each one so we know who's who. And I got no dew claws on any of them that I've seen so far, so that's a good little thing too. Usually you see dew claws when they first come out of the womb, you clip them with a toenail clippers real quick before they even know what happened. Done it over. Alright, so I've got to sweep up my area and get this all cleaned up and get her settled. It's real windy and cold out there today. Thank God for that heat lamp. As cold as it is, I probably would have lost some puppies as far as the cold. See how he's bending? Look at him. He's fighting. He knows his head's going to go down. He doesn't want it to. Look at that. That's nice. I like the struggle. The struggle begets life. You know, it tells you the life, tells you all of it. So, we definitely got a good litter of puppies. She did good. This is her first litter. I had 3 tries before this with her, 3 cycles that she didn't catch. Well, 2 of them were AIs, one was A. No. Didn't like it. This is a little girl, another good color. I love the color. They got a little, almost like a blue that's underneath, faded underneath. I don't know how that's going to change as they get older, but they really came out pretty. They came out nice. And this one's more of a fawn color, but he's still got that Dutchian color, right? Say hi to the people there, babies. Say hi to peoples. Say hi to people, head up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Head down. 1, 2, 3. Another one that's struggling like a big dog. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now relaxing because they get used to the back on the backs, right? They're getting used to this whether you realize it or not. 1, 3, 4, 5. All right, that's it. All right, so realize that I've definitely got to do something with getting people to understand that I'm not breeding to create bloodlines for you, for breeding, right? That's not why I do what I do. I do what I do to be able to produce product that I can be proud of, that people want to build a dog and have a dog that's in front of them, right? If you're into it for breeding, go see Hans Peg. He's somebody that'll sell you dogs and he doesn't care about that because he's got enough bloodlines that he knows what he's doing, right? You pay the shipping for Holland and Denmark and all this stuff to get the dog over here, and then you can breed all you want to, right? My bloodlines are not for breeding stock, so keep that in mind when you come to see me. Realize if you want a dog to build a dog for PSA, IGP, whatever you want to do with them, you want to put them on the street and go work them, they're going to be damn good dogs. But if you're into it for breeding, go see somebody else. I'm not here to produce stock for you to breed. Talk to you later. Now, there, you know, we may be able to work something out, but you have to have enough want and enough showboat as far as getting out there and doing something that's going to make me look good. I mean, you look at Oscar Morrow. Oscar's done a great job of making the right decisions for dogs that he's put foundation on and gave to other friends and other people within the industry that they've gone very far with, right? Christian Gomez with his Rottweiler is a great idea. That Ricky Rivera with his dog that he went into PSA with, that was a dog that was foundation with Oscar, right? So Oscar's made good choices in that regard. I'm human too. So maybe I can be talked into it. If someone wants to come in and wants to breed, and I say I'll work with you in that regard, then great, right? But you're probably going to pay some more money. I'm only asking $1,500, guys. $1,500 for these puppies is because I don't have the name recognition yet, and also because I'm doing what I'm doing with things like that breeding. I mean, I don't want you to breed my dogs, so I may hold back the females until they're old enough, 5-6 months, to be able to spay. I'll spay them, then I'll sell them, right? That'll solve the whole problem. Right? So keep in mind, if you're not the breeding stock, don't come see me, because I'm not going to sell you something that you're going to go out and breed. Talk to you guys later. She's been pacing back over and wobbling my camera. We're going to go outside. We're going. I've got to fix the bed, though.